this is Coach D. Today we're going to talk about how long your new hire training program should be. Look, you are in a startup, you're looking to put gas on the flame, you got people coming in the door, 5, 10, 20 reps every single month. You want to make sure you have the right program in place. You're getting them productive yesterday as fast as possible. So do you do a 3-day? Do you do a week program, maybe a 2-week program, then get them out in the field? Let's talk all about that today. There are certain parameters that we're gonna go over. So grab some paper or whatever you like to take notes with. I'm gonna give you some recommendations. And also what I have for you is this sweet stuff. These are agendas, right? Hour by hour, really gives them some confidence. It creates unity between what happens in the classroom, what happens out in the field, right? These are agendas. I have templates. I also have a playbook for you as well. That's part of the new hire training package. Grab that. The link is down below, but let's jump in, get you some value. First, let's talk about classroom versus on-the-job training. I threw a bunch of stuff here, so let's go over it. On the job, that's obviously when they're out on the phones with their mentors, managers, etc. Whether you have a training bay, which is with a training group kind of all together, or they're in their actual team, let's talk the difference. One thing I like about my classroom is it's structured, right? I love having some structure. I get control over not only the content, but the message, right? A lot of times what happens when they're on the job training, they're out there with their mentors, the manager, they're getting this identity crisis. They're hearing so many different messages. So I like to have that structure and control. Another thing is fundamentals, right? If you think about Michael Jordan, a new person comes in, they want to dunk, but they don't know how to dribble down the court yet. So we want to give them some nice fundamentals. I call it ICAOPD. That's industry, company, audience, offering, process, and dynamics. We'll go over exactly what that looks like. But in the playbook, it's all broken down. All right. But another thing I like is the boot camp aspect of being in the classroom. I get to practice. I get to role play. My son plays flag football. I've been coaching him for about 8 years. He always says, drills? Yeah, we got to do drills. Iverson's like, what? We got to practice? Absolutely. Before you get out there, whether it's trash leads that you're giving them or not, you want to make sure they know how to do the fundamentals, and you repeat, you repeat, you repeat, you drill, you drill, you drill. They don't get as much of that out there that you can do in the classroom. So these are some of the benefits. Another thing is I like shadowing. In another video, I'll go over the details of my shadowing program, but I do like having some shadowing so they do get some real world experience. Now on the job, what we like is they're gonna fail fast. So they learn differently. Some people are academic. They can look at textbooks, they can role play and all that. Others learn better when they fail fast. So that's a good benefit. Also, it's real world. Now, a key tip here, no matter who is building this program, you want to make sure that there's alignment between these two arenas. I need to make sure that the real world is actually being taught in the classroom. But obviously when I'm on the job, this is real world, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing. Then I get connected with my team, my manager, fast, not only through shadowing, but I'm in there, so I feel like I'm part of the team right away. I like that. They also get to look at their metrics day in, day out. So I'm looking at my dashboard, I'm looking at my activity, right? All of that is training my brain. What am I responsible for? What are the expectations? No matter what your KPIs are in your ramp period, that's pretty awesome for a new hire. They get their systems training. If you've ever done systems training in the classroom, it's a disaster. So you want to make sure if they do, let's say half the time, a quarter of the time, they'll pick it up, right? Their ramp period, boom, goes off the charts when they do on-the-job systems training versus classroom. So that's another thing. Also workflows. What does my day look like? What's my setup? All of that, great benefit over there. So think about those things when you're putting together your program, deciding how long you want them here versus here. Another great tip that I have here is what I call the ratio, right? Classroom to on the job ratio. At the very beginning, first couple days, you want them in that incubation phase. You want them in the classroom 90% of the time, out there for shadowing maybe 1 hour a day. Then As they get a little bit more comfortable, they want to get out there. I'm still in the classroom 70%, role playing, getting the fundamentals, learning how to dribble, all of that, but I am out there a little bit more. So I would say back end of the first week, you want to move to this. Then once they're out there on the phones, you still want to give them some reinforcement training. Don't just sink or swim, throw them out there, and that's it right away. No, I still want to get them 30% in the classroom, 70% still on the phones making, right? You can do cross-functional, all of that. In my agendas, I actually bake in a ton of that. These are customizable so you can work with your team, but it's pretty solid. And then, look, reinforcement. Whether they're in ramp period, outside of ramp period, you want to continue to give them a little bit of that classroom training. So don't let that fall. Now, we talked about some parameters. I told you there were some parameters when I'm deciding between a 3-day, 1 week, or a 2-week in-classroom training. One of them is role. If I have a group of SDRs, please don't do a 2-week program. Do like a 3-day program, give them the fundamentals of the ICAOPD, right? I call them the mechanics. Give them just the basics and then get them out there. They're not doing a full cycle. They don't need a ton of information to start making those appointments. We know that. Then your AEs, I would do a nice 2-week program. Personally, whether they are college grad, whether they've been there for a minute, I do like to give them a full 2-week program. I'll give you some more details in just a minute. But for me, AEs going from A to Z, unless you have a super simple transactional product that they can just get out there, I like to have a little bit more of a structured program. When you're an SAE, a lot of questions I get around, can I put an SAE with an AE program? Do I do both of these together? I would recommend having an SAE attend some of the sessions, but not all. They're out there, they're doing their own thing, they're super experienced, they don't need to be sitting in a classroom, they're usually bored. So choose a couple of the sessions you want them in. Think about manager training. A new manager comes in, same exact thing. They're not gonna sit there for 2 weeks in the classroom, absolutely not. Another thing is with college grads. If you have a college grad who has zero experience in sales, you need to spend a little bit more time on the sales process. Otherwise, it's gonna take them 4 months instead of 2 months to fully ramp. They're excited, they're hungry, right? Yes, you wanna get them out there, but bring them back into the classroom so you can coach, mentor, keep listening to their calls, give them real reps. You'd like to have a more structured program here. When they're experienced, that's where I can move it, usually about a week. For experience, they need to get out there. They're hungry, let's go, let's move it. Let's look at class size. If I have a small, tight class size, 1 or 2 people, I'm gonna accelerate that program. Obviously, it's not gonna be a 2-week program with 1 or 2 people, absolutely not. 3 to 5, that's a nice spot for maybe a 1-week program. I can probably give them some independent study, but we can get through all of the content with not too many questions with a 3 to 5 group within a week. And then right here, 6+, especially if it's over 10 people, you gotta do like a 2-week program, especially with systems and everything else. There's gonna be questions, everybody's at different levels. Please make sure you do a more structured, longer program there. That's just my recommendation, just what I've seen. Now let's go with in-person versus remote. Look, with a remote training, don't do 8 hours on Zoom ever. I don't care if it's a 3-day, a 3-week, it does not matter. Please don't do that. That's a lot of independent study. You have videos, online training programs, courses, all of that. Give them independence. Let them have shadowing. Let them connect with mentors. All of that. It's a totally different program. It is still structured, but it's not as rigid in a classroom. In person, I do like to have a more structured, we come in every day, 8 o'clock, we're asking questions about the previous day, debriefing, sharing what we've learned during shadowing. That's a nice 2-week program depending on the other factors that we talked about. With resources, here's a big one. Who is conducting the training? If you have me as a consultant coming in, then you can afford to have a 2-week program. I'll take care of the entire thing. I'll be facilitating it while you're out there driving performance for your team. However, If you don't have a trainer, if you don't have a consultant, and you're just the manager trying to build this thing by yourself, then yeah, that's gonna obviously impact, and you can do maybe 3 days, throw a team lead or a mentor in there for a session here or there. But yes, the resources definitely determine how long your program can be. I get it. As a consultant, I usually take care of all of that, whether it's a 3-day, a 1-week, or a 2-week program. That's all me. All right, I told you I was gonna go over the ICAOPD, and here it is. First of all, the complete sales system that I coach, that I train, that I work with my clients, it is based off of 3 components. If I think about building the ideal rep, it's like a machine, right? When I go inside the machine, there are 3 components: metrics, mechanics, and mindset, right? We want the KPIs, but we want that behavior, and then we want to make sure that their mindset is in check. But a new hire, we focus on learning the mechanics. If I think about a golfer, I want to make sure my grip is right, my stance is there, my swing, right? All my mechanics are on point. So I use this ICAOPD as a simple framework. But when it comes to timeline, how long my new hire training program should be, here's a couple things I want to look at. Do I have a simple or complex audience? Do I have one persona? I'm just talking to real estate agents and that's it. They're all pretty much the same. Or is it a decision-making tree where I have multiple levels? I've got to go to procurement, then I've got to get this red tape and that red tape, etc. There's different sectors of the market. I'm talking to different industries, etc. Right? Audience is a big one. So depending on your audience will determine how long your program should be. Same with offering. Do I have multiple offerings? Do I have multiple products and services that I need to offer? Does each rep have any discretion on what product they're going to provide, the bundles? Can they do price recommendations and closing, etc.? Depending on the complexity or simplicity of your offering will determine how long your program should be. And then your process, right? Your sales process, is it a quick close, transactional, or is it a 2, 3, 4, 5-step, multi-month sales cycle that you need to go over and over and over? All of that goes into the decision. So when you look at how long my program should be, think about the ICAOPD as a great factor to consider. Now let's talk recommendations. I told you about the 2-week, the 1-week, and the 3-day, but let's go into it. The 2-week program is 2 weeks in the classroom, 90% the first week, 70% that second week with systems training. They're out there, they're spending a little bit more time with their mentors, and then they have a certification at the end of week 2 before they get on the phones on Monday of week 3. That is your 2-week program. And again, I've built it all out for you here. I have a sample 2-week, 1-week, and 3-day program right there. Now, my 1-week program, you have a simple system, you have a simple process, you have a simple offering, etc. You have experienced reps. You can accelerate it a little bit, and you believe full-heartedly in your on-the-job training. You have alignment with team leads, managers, etc. You can speed things up a little bit and get them on the phones by Friday of that first week. Now, your certification, you could do a certification at the end of week 2 after they've been on the phones, right? You can call, listen as part of the certification. You can have them pitch you as part of the certification. They could do a systems certification, right? So you can still do a certification with a 1-week program. And then I've had clients go from a 2-week to a 1-week. Then they said, I just want to get them out there. So we did a nice 3-day quick start program where they got the fundamentals, they got the basics. It wasn't a super complicated offering, it wasn't a super complicated process, etc. So we were able to accelerate that because they believed in the power of their managers, as coaches, as mentors, as being in the trenches with them. They wanted that real world more than the classroom, so we accelerated it. So those are your options, and like I said, You can grab these customizable agendas to help you not only make that decision, but it's basically built out for you. They're customizable so that you can go in there and plug and play your own needs. So click the link down below, grab the complete sales new hire training package. Look, this is Coach D. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.